Hi, it's Martin with Blue Art Custom Marine, and welcome back. So what we're going to do today is go through the Garmin Autopilot Sea Trial Wizard. Well, we're not going to go through it, but I'm going to show you how to get there. This boat's sitting on a lift, so I can't do it. I've already done the dockside commissioning, but in case you have an Autopilot installed, or you installed it and then later on going to go out and do the sea trial, as this customer will do with his boat, what we're going to do is just how to get there. So once you turn your machine on, usually when you turn the machine on, it will, let's do it. So it should, this will take a second because it's got power back up, but it should actually ask you to, if you want to perform the Sea Trial Wizard. Now, if you're trying to navigate out into a spot that where you can't really do it right away and you still want to use your GPS or your sonar, or maybe you don't have time to do it right then and there, then you can do it later. So what we're going to do is turn the machine on, and this would be one way. You can always, if you get lost in going through the menus, sorry that's flickering, that's the frame rate, but if you get lost, you can always turn the machine off and turn it back on, and it should automatically ask you if you want to run the Sea Trial Wizard, the Autopilot Wizard. And so what we're going to do is, once that asks us, we're gonna bypass. So there you go, run Autopilot Wizard. So I'm gonna hit later so that I can show you. Now if you hit now, it'll take you through the proper steps, but let's hit later. So let's pretend we're going out to the bay to go run this boat, and what we'll do is you can hit home, make sure I got you on the phone, settings, my vessel, Autopilot installation setup. Just ignore that, it's just to tell you, hey man, if you're getting ready to make some changes, it's gonna make changes. Hit OK. And then what you're going to do is go up to Wizards, hit Sea Trial Wizard, and then just basically get into a nice area where you can run the boat. It'll probably take about 10 minutes at the most, maybe 15. Usually it shouldn't be a problem running the Autopilot Wizard and lock in. Basically you're going to be setting the compass. The Autopilot computer is going to learn kind of the boat and the way a little bit of it sliding and do some S-turns and things like that. So normally you would hit begin. Now we're not running the boat, but it's going to ask you questions. So use the throttle to determine which speed the boat transitions from displacement to planing. If you already know how fast your boat goes before it gets on plane, it defaults to 14 mile an hour on this setup. But if you say, hey man, my boat takes 21 mile an hour before it drops down on plane, then I can back off throttles. It wants to know that because you're going to be using the Autopilot at two different turn rates. Let's say we keep it at 14 mile an hour. So let's say about 12 mile an hour and lower, the engine's going to turn faster at slower speeds. So at higher speeds, it's going to gradually turn. That way it doesn't toss everybody off the boat. So that would be your next step. And then you just hit the next, go to max speed. So it kind of learns that, hit next, just follow through. Then you can turn the boat in either direction. You're going to be doing 1.5 turns, so you don't have to just set the steering wheel, and then you'll see there'll be a bar that come across the bottom here to tell you when it's complete. Just keep it at a constant speed and at a constant angle. You don't have to constantly be turning and hold a particular heading or anything like that. Just do a turn and it'll handle it there. And so we'll just, when you hit begin, it'll follow through. So as you kept going through each step, I couldn't go any further because I'm not moving the boat. But anyway, that's how you set up on a Sea Trial Wizard. It's really easy. Again, let's go through it. Home, settings, my vessel, Autopilot installation, and just hit OK, Wizards, and Sea Trial. You can also, if you have something else that messed up, maybe you messed up with something, or maybe you need to fine tune it, like, oh man, I don't want to go through the whole setup again, I just need to change my transition speed. You can do all that in here. Compass setup, all the different things like that. So you can go in and individually do one piece at a time. You don't have to do the whole wizard if you don't want to. Anyway, so that's how you set up the Sea Trial Wizard and get started on that. And like I said, it'll take you usually longer to leave the dock than it will to do it. So good luck and have fun, and thanks for watching. Bye.